Okay, good morning. Welcome to New York session. I hope you're doing well. Okay, so let's start with the dollar index as usual. But before I do, just a quick announcement. We do have CPI news at 1:30 today. So we're gonna be watching the CPI news today at 1:30. That means I'm gonna be basically waiting, or we're gonna extend the live session today to 1:30. All right, so that we can observe the CPI news together. Okay. All right. Now let's carry on with today's live session. So with the dollar index yesterday, I spoke about this fair value gap on the daily, and then I also spoke about the fair value gap in London, that if they are able to reject from that fair value gap, this one here, which lines up with the breaker, then keep an eye on that, because that's what they can use. If they break it, then definitely we're likely to basically go up, and that will align with the weekly opening manipulation, right? And so far that is what we've seen. Now going forward, even though we had this down candle here as a form of, this up candle here close below, I still think that price is likely gonna price is still gonna move up. Okay, so that means euro, I think yesterday I spoke about this as well, it missed the breaker by a few pips, but eventually when this candle closed, that's basically what I was pointing to, right? If we hit it and then we had the immediate close, then that would be your signal that you can go short and then look for price to go down. Okay, so far so good. And today we did manipulate to this fair value gap on the H4 to form the high in London, and then we rejected. So I'm expecting price to basically continue going down. Like I said, this movement here, this was all during the Asian session, doesn't really count. So I'll be expecting lower prices. Now with the CPI, it can change my expectation, but based on what I'm seeing on the high time frame, I'm not gonna give you 100% confidence that it's gonna go down, but I'm leaning more to the downside. Okay, so if you did manage to get a sell, obviously make sure you're protected. Now you can place your stop loss above this up candle, because if price comes up here, it doesn't matter, they'll reject and then go up. Okay, so stop loss here. If you did take a sell, manage your trade by placing stop loss here. British pound, that also, it did touch that level, that one. Okay, inside the fair value gap I highlighted, I pointed to specifically the high. I did touch it, rejected, but like I was saying yesterday, the idea of euro pound dropping makes British pound stronger than euro. So if dollar is going to go up, then focus on euro. Okay, so and come back to euro. Let me give you specific price point. If you did manage to get a sell, stop loss goes above 1.16703. Okay, that is where, in case we are wrong with the news, then you'll be taken out. Okay, and if we are right, that will also create another fair value gap, and we will use that to basically continue going lower. Okay, all right. With the British pound, leave that alone for now. Euro pound, nice continuation to the downside. Yesterday I couldn't give you a specific level where you can enter, because at the time we didn't have enough price action, but during the New York session they created one, which was this fair value gap over here, and then they used that to send price lower. Okay, so like I mentioned yesterday, 0.86444 is the downside objective for the euro pound, and we can continue going down, probably all the way here, which is, let me draw a line on that. .85966, we can potentially continue going down to that level. Okay, so if you do get a trade on it, maybe even as I speak now, where we are, that's a nice H4 gap that price can stay in and then attack this low. Okay, so possibly stop loss goes above 0.86716, and then a continuation to the downside, using this as a first objective, and then leaving some on for continuation to the downside. Okay, this one, .86326, that can be another target. Okay, because that's a major low, or an important low. Okay, then we move on to gold. We are still bullish on gold. Yesterday I gave you some few tips on how to get an entry. I said to wait for H4 down candle to form and then buy. So right now you might be getting something like that in the next 46 minutes, or you buy during the London session today, just as I mentioned yesterday. You buy during the London session today. So yesterday we had an auto block here, price comes back to it and then went up. Today we have something similar, and then we are moving away from it. Okay, or the other one was to wait for today to close and give us a fair value gap, then you can buy that. Okay, so gold is still looking for higher prices. Now in terms of targets, you can project this whole move to the downside. You can see how beautifully they reach for the 127 exactly and then pulled back. So 168 is 47193 4719.373. So that's also a good level to target. Okay, so if you're buying, that's basically a level that you can aim for. And then crude oil, this is amazing. Yesterday we talked about price moving away from here to go there. That was a nice trade, in case any of you took it. Now you can see on the weekly basically what I've been hinting on, that January is likely going to see crude oil go up. So breaking this up candle, it's likely going to happen, and we can see that. So on the monthly we are actually reversing, and based on what I'm seeing, 66.43 is going to be an ideal target, with intermediate target being here, which is the fair value gap between 63.13 and 63.63. Okay, so crude oil, look for continuation to the upside. Now since we've just gone above that up candle, two things can happen. One, they might not continue and then pull back, or it's gonna continue and then leave a gap. I lean more on a possibility of continuation because there's nothing here, right? So since all these highs are free highs, we might continue from here, and this will be a continuation. So on the H4, you can see how these down candles are nicely stacking up. Now when we have seasonal moves like this, okay, it makes it so much easier to trade because everything lines up, and auto blocks works, fair value gaps works, but you need to be obviously aligned with the season for this to happen. If it's not aligned with it, sometimes these things will not work. So this fair value gap and this auto block worked because of the time of the year. This one also worked because time of the year. Okay, it's likely gonna continue going up. So stick with the upside on crude oil for now. Our first aim next up here. That's where we will get maybe some form of a resistance. Where we are now, if anything comes back down, it's just a pullback. It will resume to go up, but maybe up here we might get like a strong pullback. Okay, ultimately 66.43 is going to be the actual level, okay, for January, if what I'm saying is right, or between January and February. That's basically where price is gonna go. Okay, the ES. So again, yesterday we spoke about this level, that since we dropped, this is an auto block, so I'll be expecting them to go up. That was a big move. All right, nice move from the breaker, and then price just shot up. So I'm expecting a continuation to the upside. 7084.00, that is where we are aiming for. Okay, so again today, this New York session, if we pull back into this, which will give us a very, very good buying opportunity, and then you look for the buy. All right, okay. Dollar yen, that 158.88 level has been successfully hit here, so that is done. Now above that is a small imbalance over here, which is 1.159.45. that is the next target for price, which is very close, and it's not far away. 159.45 is the next upside objective. So I'm looking for a continuation to the upside. Australian dollar, you can see price has rejected that level. So, but the move, the rejection is not strong enough, right? I don't like it being so slow. Hence, I'm expecting the CPI news to accelerate it for this equal low. Okay, so that's basically what I'm expecting, for the CPI news to accelerate this move to the downside. So that is that for the Australian dollar. Let's go to the Bitcoin. I'm sorry, the cryptocurrencies. Obviously, starting with Chachki. Let's go from down to up. Chachki 0.50635. I think that is where we are drawing to. So nothing really has changed for me on this. The only time I would probably change is if they can go below this down candle at 0.50306. That is when maybe I'll have a change. Now the big candle over here, that imbalance, it can for some reason cause price to drop, but it's yet to be seen. Okay, let's see if it can drop price. I'm favoring upside, but we might face a little bit of resistance in here, so patience, and let's see if we can break through. Hype, this is a selling opportunity. We've pulled back. I'm expecting it to reject and continue going lower. So Like my favorite is this one. Okay, sell to go down to attack this low, and then leave something for ultimately 22.08453103. First objective will be 23.1290, and then this one 22.2065. Okay. XRP, leave that one alone. You're not interested in that. Solana, I'm still bearish, not bullish. Now, if it goes up, the 145, I think exactly 145 is a key level for price to reject from, and that is this one here. It's a gap. Okay, so if price persists going up, that's where I would expect them to reject and then go lower again. So keep an eye on that. Do not buy into the movement to the upside. They've not shown any conviction that price is going up. If we are gonna go up, it's gonna require a lot of effort. Okay, it's gonna require a lot of effort. So I think this monthly gap is everything. This one here, coupled with this down candle being there, that gap is everything. So let me draw a line here, because I think that's what they're trying to reach for. $146.92. That is what I think they're trying to reach for, and then resume their continuation to the downside. So watch out for that. Let me draw this over there. That level, 146.92. I think they're trying to reach for that, and then we will resume going lower. Ethereum, same thing. We will resume going down, maybe, and move into this small fair value gap, which starts from 3179, if I got the level right. Yeah, 3179.43. We might trade into that gap and then resume going lower. And let me extend that over there. Okay, so that is that for Ethereum. There's a nice fair value gap here. We also have a really nice last down candle there, so expect something like that, right? Then finally Bitcoin has rejected that monthly gap, that one there. So I don't expect any more movement to the upside. Where we are now, right now, is enough for price to resume going lower. So expect something of a rejection between today and tomorrow happening where we are. Okay, it's a nice market maker sell model. All right, so that's pretty much it for before I forget, Let's look at AI16Z quickly. We are still stuck in that range, that fair value gap. So yeah, let's see within the next few days, as this has been consolidating for a long time. We are almost 2 to 3 weeks into that consolidation, and I think a move will be due very soon. Not to the downside, because there's nothing on the downside. Okay, so a move to the upside will be due very soon. I don't know when, but it will very soon. Okay, so keep an eye on that if you do have it. Now you can go to this website. It's called deskscreener.com, and you can search for AI16Z. You get it, because on TradingView we don't have it there anymore. So if you go to Desk Screener, then you can find AI16Z. Alright, so let's move back to TradingView and then observe the CPI news. So as usual, I'm gonna mute myself for a few minutes and let the news play out, and then after the news I'll come back. I think I've already covered everything, so I'll come back after the news and then just give an update on just the dollar index, okay, with the news. So I'll see you in a few minutes. I'm just gonna mute myself and observe as well. Okay, so as you all can see, they manipulated it to the downside, and you can see where it's reacting off from, right? It's reacting off from, again, that same level, that fair value gap. Okay, so this is manipulation. We will eventually get a rejection and then follow through to go up. 99.31 is the ideal target, and definitely euro also came back to that same fair value gap and then rejected. Now if you did get stopped out, I think you can definitely look to enter again. Maybe wait for the next 5 minutes, right? Or this is purely manipulation. They came up to manipulate. So let me also, I don't have access to my trading. Sometimes I struggle to actually use this trading thing. Doesn't, there we go. So stop loss is going to be 25 pips, and then target is going to be 50. That's roughly 2 to 1, risking 1% as a demo trade, and I'll take a sell. Okay, now let me see where my stop loss is. Okay, that's fine. All right, I'll leave that, and then we'll see what will happen going into the rest of New York session and then tomorrow. The real target is the previous week low here. That's where I'm targeting. Okay. All right, so that's about it for now. I'll see you same time tomorrow for another live session. Until then, take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.